Hi guys, welcome back to Irish Footy Vlogs. Welcome back to another Rate the Transfer Rumour video. Yes, that's right. This is the show that rates the transfer rumour. And Sean is on for this one. Sean, is this your transfer rumour debut, so to speak?
It says, absolutely. First time doing this kind of thing.
This could be very interesting. Sean does
Mm.
not know any of the players who I've linked to any of the clubs before we come on, just like Dad. So I think that makes it a bit more intriguing, does it, Sean? A little bit.
Mm. Oh yeah, I'm curious to know. I'm scouring the depths of the internet to know like what rumors there are now because all the matches are over. So
So first of all, Lionel Messi to Drogheda United. No,
mm,
I do have a Drogheda United link though. I've actually two
mm,
Drogheda United links, believe it or not. But I'm going to start with one and I'll finish with one actually. This one is a player recently who has been released by Shelburne. He's played with your club before Waterford FC. Do you want to guess the player?
Matty Smith.
Matty Smith. Matty Smith,
Yeah,
Drogheda United. What's
mm.
your thoughts there?
That'd be a really good signing. Yeah. Uh, so they're gonna. I mean, France Piero had another great game today. He's clearly, if he doesn't go, he's gonna be the man. He's gonna be the man to draw the throw their weight behind into the next season. But Adam Foley did well as sort of the backup to Piero, but they could always use more firepower. It's going to be an even tougher division next year. I think it'll be a really and draw to thrive off these kinds of players. They've always done that, picking up
Mm.
players that maybe haven't made it at one of the Dublin clubs. So this is, I think, it would be a very smart signing, and it would be a real statement of intent for Drogheda and Matty Smith as well. We have to factor in has now a bit of European experience, so maybe Drogheda will be looking at that angle as well.
Yeah, I think he's 26 now, Matty Swin. He's got plenty of
Mm,
experience behind him. Sometimes, I suppose, the criticism of Matty can be maybe that he in the final third, maybe he's not as decisive as maybe he can be. Maybe that's one of the
mm.
things. But he can play in a number of positions, and even
Yeah.
in Drogheta's wing back system, he could play as kind of a roving one of those number 10s. Sometimes they can
Mm,
play two number 10s and stuff like that as well.
mm,
He can play up front, as you mentioned, or off a
mm,
striker. He can play wide.
mm.
So he does give you versatility, doesn't he?
Yeah, it gives you a lot of versatility. If Drogheda do line up the same way they did last season or this season, whatever, 2024, then I would expect them to be sort of in that number 10 role, maybe just playing off the main striker. If he is in the starting 11. That would sort of be the role I expect because Drogheda tend to play wing backs, and of course, it wouldn't be sensible to play him in a role where he has a lot of defensive responsibility.
Well, are you going to give this one out of 10?
I think I would give this one a 7 out of 10, just because they already have Piero. If he goes, that the rating goes up. If he stays, it stays at a 7. Mm.
That'll be interesting. Interesting stuff. So, Matty Smith, the Drogheda United, a 7 out of 10. Now, on to the next player, and this player is linked to Sligo Rovers, the Bitter Red, who've lost a couple of players recently. Simon Paragon to Pats, and Morahan, which was a surprise, completely
Mm.
took everyone out. There was no, I didn't hear that. Nobody seemed to hear
Yeah.
anything about this one. Morahan, the captain, who left for Bohemians. So, they're going to need reinforcements. McGinty and
Mm.
Chapman will probably be gone as well. Jade Hiiki, who was at Dundalk this season,
Mm.
obviously signed from Shelburne, landed at
Mm.
Dundalk. Now, I'm not sure what way Dundalk are in terms of what players will be leaving necessarily and what will be coming in, but I'd imagine Andy Boyle's already gone to
Mm.
Waterford, but I imagine
Yeah.
be quite a few players leaving the club.
Mm.
Hiiki is a player, he's had injury problems in the past. He's a young player, but he's a lot of ability for me. Similarly to Drogheda, sometimes players go to Sligo Rovers and excel there as well. So, how would you see that one?
Um, Going to be interesting. I don't know what the contract situation for Jade Hiiki is. He's gone to he went from Shelburne in the summer,
Mm.
and the way now he was called up to the under 21s recently as well. And the way Dundalk were talking about it on their social media, it sounded like he was going to be there for next season.
Mm.
So that would, if he's under contract,
I think
um,
he is personally, but if there's
yeah.
a Dundalk fan, let us know in the comments. But I think he might be
Yeah. Now maybe there's a release clause in his contract that, or something that
relegation
if they got
clause, maybe. Yeah.
relegation clause, exactly, yeah.
Mm.
Um, very it's a very interesting move. I mean, he's definitely a player Dundalk would want to have. I think he drastically improves their chances of winning the first division. But
Mm.
I don't know how he goes at Sligo, or if he's a replacement for Morahan. He'll
Mm,
definitely win. He'll win a lot of ball in the middle of the field.
mm.
Um,
He plays
really
slightly
fights.
higher up though, doesn't he? He's weird because I don't see him as a number 10, but I don't see he's kind of in
No,
between, which is very strange. Like, but he has
kind
got
of,
good
yeah.
technical ability, I would
Mm.
say.
Yeah, I don't know if he is the replacement for Morahan.
Mm.
So I think it would be an okay signing. Depends as well how much Sligo have to pay to get him if he is
Mm.
assuming he is under contract. Is how much
Mm.
Sligo have to pay to get him. That would also determine a lot of how smart this would be.
I would say if they had to pay, I'd say that would rule it out, to be honest, personally, with Sligo
Yeah.
Rovers. I'd be finding
Mm,
it hard to believe they'd actually pay. I think the one thing, caveat here, as you kind of mentioned, alluded to as well, that you could have a relegation release clause. That could be the thing here, and that could be free. Rory Keaton had that, actually, didn't he, at Cork
he
City?
did, yeah. Mm.
Yeah. So that could be a thing as well. What are you rating this one?
I'm gonna give this one. I'm not very big on it. I'm gonna give it a 5 out of 10.
Interesting. So Hiiki to Sligo Rovers 5 out of 10. Now linking a Cork man to Cork City. He's never actually played for Cork City. Looks like he's leaving Galway United. Dave Hurley, he was at Cove
Mm,
Ramblers before his move to Galway United. He was
mm,
brilliant in the first division. In and out of the team, you would say, this season, the Premier Division. Maybe he never
mm.
settled in the team. From Cork City itself. Could he get a move to the Turner's Cross Club?
I think if you look at a lot of fans talk about the need for local players at the club, and of course the main priority is winning. If you can have 11 players from like Bangladesh or Nepal or somewhere and they win, you don't really care. The local thing only becomes a problem when they're not winning. Um, but I suppose where I'm going with this is that Cork are one of those clubs that could actually probably get away with this because there's only really Cove in the area, and look, Cork are the bigger fish. And I think I do like this move. I haven't seen, I've heard the rumors, but I don't know if Cork are actually in the process of even making any moves towards making this happen. I think he will be a very smart signing. I don't. I think, to be fair, there was a lot of competition in the middle of the field for Galway United this season. They were very strong, particularly that area. Look at Hickey, Borden, McCormick. There was a lot of great players in that team. So I think
And all of
maybe,
those have signed new contracts, incidentally, at
yeah,
Galway as well.
and they're all back exactly. So yeah, I think this would be a really good move for Cork. There is a bit of a gap in that midfield now. Jack Doherty's gone. They've so the there'll be a lot of there has to be some of those there has to be some of that Premier Division experience in Cork, especially because they've just come up. And look, they were very good in the first division, but the step up is massive, and you do need these kinds of players. So I think if this did happen, it would be a very good move.
Are you giving this out of 10?
I'm going to give this a 9 out of 10. I think it'd be a really good
Oh, he's
move.
gone big. 9 out of
Mm.
10. That's interesting stuff. Dave Hurley to Cork City. Now, two more. This player has recently left Waterford FC, linked to Bohemians. Connor Parsons.
Mm. I think it would be very interesting. If what happened is like looking at the other transfer rumor shows, if Danny Grant went one way and Connor Parsons went the other way, that would be very interesting altogether. Um, I think it would be a good signing. Rennie clearly knows Connor Parsons. He worked with him last season and towards the start of this season. He's a very technically skillful player. I think where he was let down a bit was maybe with the physicality of his game. That if he came up against a defender who was maybe bigger than him and could muscle him off the ball, he wasn't given the space to show his skills.
Does he
Um,
find it difficult? Sorry, Sean, to cut across. Is he
mm,
one of those players, do you think, that finds it difficult if he can't get in behind the defence, that he's maybe a
yeah,
little bit limited as such in that sense?
yeah, yeah. He has maybe one or two tricks to get past the
Mm,
defense, and if that doesn't happen, then it can be a long night.
mm.
He's got, but he's got that, and of course he's got a threat from the edge of the box as well. So
The only
uh,
thing is, from a Bowles point of view, that they like, he does like a goal against Shamrock Rovers, though, or at Tallaght Stadium
uh,
in
he
particular, I
loves
should
to he
say.
loves to go to the Tallaght Stadium, absolutely. And I mean, I guess he one of the sort of unusual good things about having him at Waterford is that he helped raise the profile of the club because he's obviously got his YouTube channel. So it would be a good signing, but I'm wondering about Bose if they want to push on. is he an upgrade on what they have already? I don't think
Mm.
I don't think he is. I don't think he's an upgrade on Danny Grant.
And
I
they've
think
got
he's
Dale
something I'd
Rooney
like
on
for
the
life.
left, and predominantly he was on the left,
Mm.
wasn't he? For
Predominantly,
Watford.
predominantly he's on the left, although
Mm.
he did swap out to the right sometimes on occasion, and he didn't look totally out of place. So it could be okay, yeah.
Yeah, that could be something they're looking at. Connor Parsons to Bohemians right now, 10.
I'd say 6 out of 10.
6 out of 10. Interesting stuff. Finally, now is another link to a Drogheda or to Drogheda United, and there was murmurs about this in the last window. Personally, I knew it wasn't going to happen the last window, but maybe it could happen in this window. Connor Keeley, St Patrick's Athletic, would have moved back to Drogheda United. Obviously, he signed from Drogheda United, but has found his game time limited, hasn't he, at St Patrick's
Mm.
Athletic? But he still has a contract, I'll say, at Pats as well. I don't know if Pats will be open to a loan move. I don't know, but he's got obviously, as we speak, anyway. Tom Gravosti, Joe Redmond, and Luke Turner to contend with at Pats, and he seemed to be fourth in line there, certainly under Kenny. So maybe a move back to Drogs, the club where I suppose he plays his best football at, you could argue. Could be a good move. What are you saying about that one?
Seems like a dream move, doesn't it? It looks like Drogs are going to replace Jack Keeney as centre defence.
And Dave
So
Webster's retired,
Dave
incidentally, as
Webster's
well.
retiring. So they do need another centre back, and a loan move could be good for both parties. Because Pasta may be looking and saying, I don't know if it happens at the end of next season that they're looking for a new centre back. Connor Keeley could have had a lot of game time, could have really improved, and as well as that, Drogheda are going back to full time football next season, so it's going to be a different prospect. It's a really look. It makes a lot of sense on paper. Now, of course, the game's not played on paper, but this is a really sensible move. I can see why so many people are making the link here. I think it would definitely improve Drogheda. So look, there's not a lot to say outside of that. It's a really really good move.
Why are you going to give this one out of 10?
I'm gonna best for last. I'm gonna give this one a 10.
Oh, 10 out of 10. So it's
Mm.
definitely happening according to Sean.
Yeah.
Brilliant stuff, Sean. Thanks for coming on. Excellent stuff. A 9 and a 10 in there. Love that, to be fair. That's brilliant.
Mm.
Guys at home, let us know what you think in the comments. Would you like to see these players at your club? Give us a rating out of 10 as well if you like, and subscribe to the channel. Once again, Sean, brilliant. Thanks very much.
Cheers, Keith.